So just like I blocked over the door to find the dents, I'm gonna go ahead and do the fender as well. So what I'm doing really with that block, since there's epoxy on here which has hardly any build to it, I'm looking for dents. I'm just knocking the top off to find dents that I want to fill on this first go around. The major stuff, I pulled that one. It's ready for filler. The small dent here, just around the emblem, it's going to need some filler and some straightening. I'll probably get a dolly back there and get rid of some of that. But really, I'm just looking for dents right now. What's up, everybody? I'm going to go ahead and skip over to a couple questions that I got about what sandpaper I use, the blocks I use, that kind of stuff. So let's take a look at that and I'll show you what I got going on. So I've got a whole bunch of blocks set up here, different things I use. Most everything I use is by hand. I'll start out with some Power Tools, DA, air file, things like that. But when I start getting close, I switch over to by hand because I got better control over it when I do it by hand. So I've got a lot of Durablocks, motor guard blocks, but you'll mainly see me using paint paddles or 5-gallon paint bucket stirrers or yardstick. You know, it's usually a block of wood, piece of wood that I'm using. I've got these, they're good blocks. Everything kind of has its place. So you just go with what works in the situation that you're in. If you're doing a concave area like this, you're gonna need something that's gonna get in there. And as you block, it needs to make contact all the way through. If you use something that's squared off, this is kind of exaggerated, but it doesn't maintain contact as it goes through the sweep of the curve, you know. So that's why you want to use something rounded, because it's gonna maintain contact all the way through that, and that's key. If it's skipping over the middle of the panel, just right here, and you've got filler there or anything really, it's gonna not sand it in the middle, so it's gonna misshape it instead of making it the shape you want it to be. Another thing I do for a rounded area is I'll take my paint paddle. Let me open this one up. All right, so I got the paper off of that. But on this one, I don't know if you can tell, but it's rounded over on the top. See, that's a flat edge, and that's a rounded edge. And that lets me do that same thing. It lets me keep or maintain that contact throughout the curve. You'll see me stand this up on the end and use that and block through the curve, through the rounding of that body section. So when you're blocking, you have to maintain contact. If you have a curved surface on your block, it'll maintain that contact all the way through. If I was to block with the flat side, like I showed you before, it's exaggerated, but it's doing the same thing, just a lot smaller. It's missing that. So different blocks for different areas. When you get to something really rounded like this, you've got to have something that's going to contour to it. This Wonder block is pretty soft. It's really soft foam, and I can make that contour to that a little bit better. And I'll even go so far as to just get a Scotch-Brite, put the paper on there, and then contour it with my hand. You just got to keep a lot of contact with the surface. If you get something that's too stiff, it's really only making a very minimal amount of contact with that surface. So it's just going to create divots rather than rounding it over like you want. Here's another example. On something like this hood, this is really a long curve, right, on this hood. It's not flat. So this is really straight and flat. If I put that up there, you'll see that it's not touching on each end, just the middle. Kind of rocks there. So when I sand, it's only sanding whatever's making contact. So on a long curve like this, I may use a piece of wood if it's going to be flexible enough. Sometimes that's not flexible enough, even if I'm putting pressure on both ends. So I may go to something like this. This is it's somewhat stiff. It's a stiff block, but at the same time, it's foam. So I can put a little pressure on each end, and it's going to make contact all the way across. And that's what you want. If you're connecting point A to point B, you need contact between point A and point B to make it seamless. Hope that makes sense. As far as paper, most of the time I'm using mica. This is called the silver, Q silver. This is the gold. I use those back and forth, but I like the mica products. When I'm blocking, I'm usually using a sticky adhesive back paper because it'll stick to the paint paddles. Have a piece of cardboard tube, it'll stick to that. It'll stick to all these Durablocks. But really, a block is anything you want to use behind your sandpaper. You can make anything really work as a block depending on what you need it to do. This is just a piece of thin plastic that I stuck some paper to. And I did that to get in here and sand. So when you wipe filler, a lot of times it gets in the crease, gets in that crack, and you need to sand it out. Well, a paint paddle might be too thick, so you get something like this. You can sand that filler out of the crack. That's the Blockbuster. It's a foam that's got a little bit of rigidity to it. It's kind of a stiffer foam. And here's the old one that I cut down. You just make this stuff work however you need it to. Probably did that to get up under that edge, or I had something like that I needed to get in there and sand. So you just use what's available and make what you don't have. So thanks for hanging out. I think that's going to do it this go round. We're going to keep plugging away at it. It's never as fast as you want to go, but at least we're moving ahead. We'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.